out the tube and down the street into a couple of shops.
That's not creepy at all.
I know. And then I lost him. And I was like, oh no, I really just wanted to say something to an artist hero of mine, but there you go. A couple of weeks later, saw him again, this time with Maggie, and just thought, I just got to go and say something. And when I met Joel and Maggie as a couple, they had this aura that you see in the film. They glowed, and I fell in love with them. And then we got to talking a couple of years later after coming across Maggie's blog that she writes about their lives, and we thought, what would it be like to make a documentary, a younger artist couple making a film about an older artist couple, but with so many shared values, and although separated by 45 years odd in time, so much in common. And so we began this endeavour of this kind of year-long process, and a few months after our first meeting in person, we started living with Maggie and Joel. So whenever we filmed, we would live in their homes. They were very generous, and the process began.
And Maggie and Joel, tell us a little bit about what this experience was like for you, because you had to really open yourselves up, you know, both as a relationship but also as individuals, and it goes to some quite, you know, intimate and sort of spiky places. How was that for you?
Well, first of all, it's really wonderful to be seen as equals, and it's really wonderful to be seen by two young people. Older people don't usually feel seen by younger people, and we just really fell in love with each other right away. Wasn't it? We just fell in love with them, and so it was easy to say yes. They came into our home. It felt like that's what we were supposed to be doing. I think the thing that we agreed on right from the beginning was, well, it's very nice to be seen as an old couple in love, but if the love is going to have any meaning out in the world, we also have to show the shit side too, which I think probably you saw a bit of in the film.
You know, sometimes things just have a kind of natural, organic flow. When the four of us got together the first time, it seemed as if we had continued a conversation that we began some other time, even before we knew each other. We were speaking the same language, and it was one of respect and a kind of immediate understanding of their special qualities and how relaxed we felt about it. It didn't feel intrusive or as if we were going to be seen in some way that would not be truthful. And I think that's really a testament to Manon and Jacob's ability to share with us and to still be invisible in our lives. And I think you know, I've seen this film now 5 times, and it's more and more apparent to me every time I see it about how natural and real it feels.
And tell us a little bit about your creative approach. How did you, what were your sort of, what was your kind of creative through line for this?
When making a documentary about an artist couple, it felt really important to find a language that was true to the two of you. So, you know, we knew a lot about Joel's work going into this, and we wanted to create an image that would be respectful to how you might see the world. And we didn't know so much about Maggie going into it, other than the bits of writing that we had read, and we didn't know that Maggie could play piano until we were sometime in Tuscany filming, and one evening she just started tinkering on the piano, and then we were like, wow, she can play! And that started a conversation with our composer about how we would use Maggie's music to develop the score of the film. And so it was really important to imbue the film language with the DNA of the people that we're making the film about.
Well, just to add about, as you can see, a lot of the scenes are quite long and the camera never moves, and it became apparent that this kind of, these longer form scenes would kind of allow, you know, we would quietly be watching the rushes in the middle of the night. And it became clear looking at the material that these scenes, if the camera doesn't move and the audience is allowed to just kind of wander around the space visually, that life just unfolds in a natural way, and sometimes in really funny ways, or strange ways, or devastating ways. And so this language of allowing things to play out in real time showed itself as such a unique quality, and so that was also something that we kind of identified early on and became central to our language.
Because you capture these amazing moments of kind of intimacy that unfold in a very sort of unself-conscious and unguarded way, which I imagine is hard to do if you're feeling constantly observed and scrutinised. So were you there as filmmakers the whole time? Were you sort of watching, or you sort of stepped back and allowed that to unfold?
A combination. We really lived together, the four of us, and so every evening we would kind of get together and talk about the day that had happened, and so because there was this kind of unguarded conversation that was happening, it also allowed us to both be present and kind of disappear. So a lot of the time we would be quietly in the room. We developed a kind of sign language between us, because often you're on opposite ends of the room and you need to signal, I need another battery or whatever, and so things like that. And then often we would leave the camera rolling, and we would mic Maggie and Joel every day and let life kind of unfold, and just kind of have a couple of cameras dotted around and see what happened, because we didn't want to intrude, or sometimes something would happen and we were in the room and we didn't want to even breathe, so we would just kind of very quietly sit there and let things happen.